Hey everyone. First off, I got two things. One, it has been asked a few times. I've gotten a lot of messages. I do offer private lessons. Yeah, if that's something you're interested in, follow the link in the description to get more info. Send me a message. Number two, other than that, let's get into it. So, after a request from last week's video going over how I layer bases plus the benefits of saturation, link should pop above. We have a comment from user Alex that asks, could I do a vid about mid-side EQ and compression? And since then I've been thinking about it, and I figured I can try to add my little 2 cents. Hopefully it'll be useful in the way I explain it. And how I'm going to explain it, I am going to use ice cream. So if you like ice cream, if you don't like ice cream, oh well, that's what we're going to do today. Specifically Neapolitan ice cream, because it's got just enough flavors for this to work out. If you don't like Neapolitan ice cream, find another. What's something else you like? Something probably like a 3 or 4 layer cake. That might work.
Everybody loves cake. Cakes have layers.
I thought of a burger. It's got different ingredients and layers to it. Something with layers. But anyway, all right, before we get to mid-side, I want to explain sound first. Well, not sound, but basically before you get to mid-side, you got mono, you got stereo, then you got mid-side. There's a few other ones, but those aren't necessarily relevant to this right now. So first, mono signal. That's all the ice cream. Just one singular sound source. So, if you listen to like one earbud, that's mono. If you have just like one speaker and all the sounds coming through it, that's mono. It's just one signal, all the same. Boom. The whole signal, the whole ice cream. All 3 flavors, that's mono. Now you got stereo. Stereo is a left and a right signal. So that's going to split the ice cream down in half. So you got vanilla in the middle. You got strawberry, chocolate, or whichever sides this picture's on. I didn't look. You got strawberry chocolate on the sides. The signal's split into 2 parts, left and right. Now you have, in both left and right channels, you have things that are equally similar. Then you have the differences. That's what gives you the stereo effect, is the difference between the left and the right channel, not all the same stuff down the middle. I mean, you can demonstrate it with any synth plugin or any sound. If you have a mono sound and you double it, you pan it left to right, keep it the same volume, all that consistent, it will still sound mono because the same signal is coming from both sides, so it'll sum down the middle. And once you start like playing with volume or you alter it in any way, that's when you'll start hearing the difference and it'll get more wider. I'll demonstrate it in an empty synth in this project. So we got wrong sound. Let's make that not annoying with a sine wave. All right? So now we're going to double it. We're just going to bring a sine wave over to this side. And we're going to pan this sine wave to the left. And then this sine wave's going to be panned to the right. Now, what do you hear? Play them both at the same time. It comes right down the middle, right? Now let's say I flip the phase, detune them. What we're gonna do? We're gonna flip the phase just a little bit. Now you hear the difference between, because they're not the exact same signal anymore. I've explained phase before, but it's like starting the wave at a different point in its cycle. Rough explanation. So now when I put it back in phase, it's right down the middle. It's the same sound, pan left and right, but because there's no difference between both signals, it assumes, or it comes out mono. That's a better way to say it. It comes out mono. So that's where mid-side comes in. Now, mid-side is like splitting the ice cream into 3 separate flavors. Okay, you follow me? Vanilla is going to be the mid. Because you remember back in the stereo example, vanilla was present in both the left and the right channel, right? Like I said, the effect of stereo is the difference between the left and the right. So now you have mid and side. Mid is going to be that vanilla. Smack dab down the middle, everything's the same. And now you have the sides, which are the differences between the left and the right channel. Which difference? Chocolate on this side, strawberry on this side. That's the difference. I mean, it would work if chocolate was on both sides and there was no straw. Basically, I couldn't think of anything better than this 3-flavored ice cream, so just work with me. So mid side is the difference. The middle is the sum of the left and the right channel. Everything's the same, and the sides are the difference. Does that make sense? So let's go over again. Mono is all the ice cream. It's one singular scoop of ice cream. Cool. Stereo is a scoop of half vanilla, half strawberry, and another scoop of half vanilla, half chocolate. Some are the same, some different. Left and right, that's how you get stereo. Mid side is 3 separate scoops of ice cream, one vanilla for the mids, and one for chocolate, and one for strawberry, which are the sides or the differences. Now, if that made any sense, I hope so. Now let's go into an EQ and I'll show you some things. Got FabFilter Pro Q, which is my go-to EQ. And just make a band. And see down here, where it has stereo. See, it's affecting the signal equally across left and right channels. Now you can go in and only affect the left. And I can make another, it's only affecting the left, right? Or, you know, you could have it only affect the right. Stereo again, only the mids, the sides. Now, why would this be useful for EQ? Well, first thing, I feel that it gives you more control. What you can do with that control is really tame in the sound. If it's too wide, you can dial it in by, say, picking the sides. If it's too wide, you can go up, down. You can narrow the sound if you follow me. I'll show you in a second. If you bring down the side information, the volume down, certain frequencies, or the whole spectrum itself, you can make a sound more narrow by taking away that difference in information, the stereo information, and giving more focus to the center information or the mono signal. Or you can go the other way around, and you can't make a mono signal stereo without tricks. It's not going to use an EQ, but you can make a stereo signal more mono. That makes sense. All right, so in this example, now I'll play it for you real quick. It's this idea I just came up with last night. If you're into jazz or music, YouTube memes kind of thing, you know what the lick is, right? I can just play it. It's right there. The latency is crazy. Anyway, that. So I came up with this idea just based around it. It's in 5/4. Yeah, no, something interesting. Yeah, just doing some music theory nerdy stuff, going around circle of fifths and some other things. Anyway, not important. But what is important is I use this to tame the piano. So let's go. You can hear more in the chords of the piano. Now, to me, this piano sounds great, but it's really wide in an area where I don't want it to be, and it kind of muddies up the mix. So I use the sideband on the EQ to take a bit out of this mid-range, but only in the sides. So see if I'll play it without, just disable. Now I'll play it with. Now for me, the reason I did that is because if it was just like piano on its own, it'd be okay, you know? But to fit it in like an electronic track where you kind of want things to be a bit more tame, not too wide in that frequency area, I pull it down. It narrows the piano's image down there, and it leaves me more room to I have pads going on, and that'll fill up that area of the spectrum and give it more wideness. But I don't need the piano to be wide down there. So again, you have control to tame the sound. That's a big use. Another use for mid-side EQ is I have this passive EQ on my master bus. It's more of a mixing thing, but whatever. I always have it in mid-side, so I can effect. So on the sides, I have it high pass to 120 hertz. That means everything below that is mono, because I filtered out everything below that frequency. And then the mid signal, I start rolling off at around 22 because anything below that is basically inaudible and eats up headroom when you want to make things louder later on. So I can take this whole mix and you can hear it with a side info only. Yep, that's it. Sounds weird just hearing the sides by themselves, but once you combine them with the full signal, you can hear how they affect everything, make things wide. Again, the side is the difference between the left and the right channel. Yeah, again, mid-side EQ is useful, like I just demonstrated, useful for cleaning up just frequencies either in the mid channel or the sides that you don't really need. Like monoing under certain frequencies, mid-side EQ is perfect for that. I can't really explain to you too much. It's more you have to fiddle around with it and figure out how it works for you. That's how I learned to use it, with reading like any article online, stuff like that. But it'll come down to you figuring out how it works for you, how you want to use it. It's not necessary, but it help. It's a tool, just like anything else. It's just a tool to help you get from point A to point B with your sound. Now, mid-side, as far as compression is concerned, it's not really used a whole lot, although it is available. Like, you could compress a side of a signal more than you do the middle, and that could, again, enhance the sound if it has kind of a weak volume or presence on the sides. It's barely used because you could do it with an EQ and even it out just as well. The big thing I use it for is for like side chaining, ducking a signal. Like if I'm ducking like my entire bass bus, which I usually am. Like I use Track Spacer. It's basically a multi-band compressor, but with a lot of bands. Instead of 3 or 4, it's like 60 something, I think. But you can put it in mid-side mode and only like duck out the middle frequencies. And if I have like a wider bass, then I might not duck that. And that could help with gelling the whole mix together. Sometimes it sounds just really weird and out of place. So, your mileage may vary. It really comes down to your personal preference. But again, mastering, you're never going to use mid-side unless you use it really, really subtly to the point where you're probably not doing much. So just leave it alone. Because you really want to compress the whole signal evenly, so there's no disjointment between the two, But other than that, that is it. That's mid-side EQ, roughly explained using ice cream. Hope that was useful. Yeah. As usual, if you got any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, whatever, shoot them in the comments. Shoot me a message here on Discord, Twitter. I don't care. Write me a letter. Again, I have private lessons. If that interests you at all, contact me. We can work something out. Thanks to everybody that supports me on Patreon. That is it. Time to edit this and put it out. Let you get played out by the lick.